They call me Douche Mega the first. The first take. The first take, Douche Mega. Sitting in front of me this day, Thursday, 7:47 a.m., March 4th. Oh my goodness, 4 days before my birthday, actually. I will be 30 in 4 days. Wow, Douche Mega. That's amazing information, dude. I'll be 30 in 4 days. And then I will be 35 in 5 more years. Let's go. Douche Mega. The other vaporizer I showed you back a couple weeks ago was actually broke. This thing, it was not replaceable. This part is not replaceable. I got this one, dude, for like $10 less. Actually, they're making them so much smaller, and it's like that. It's easy. You want to smoke? If you want to smoke, dude, I'm sorry about my voice. You want to smoke, dude? Then now's a good time, because I'm about to try my first attempt to test time travel, dude. Whoa, Douche Mega. You smoke weed, dude? I got this thing in here, dude. And it's got 3 parts to it. And 1 mono temperature, 3 parts. Little chamber in here. And you put the little concentrate in there. You know how to make the concentrate? It takes a process. It takes a while. It takes a second, and it may take a second to get good at it. I've never actually done it. But I know how the process works, and if you want to practice and get good at it, weed is legal in Illinois. So, and this is a medical. So I'm gonna do this for my first attempt to test the time travel of relativity. I got my Game Boy just in case it doesn't work. It did a switch. Somewhere on the internet they say that this thing has a facial recognition. Where's a face recognition, dude? This thing? What? This thing, dude? When my hand is playing it like this, dude, it reads my mind, dude. On the facial recognition, that's incredible, boy. This thing is incredible, boy. I've tried on the Mario Tennis. It works pretty well. And then you put the little, you want to strap on your wrist. You put this thing on right there and strap on your wrist. And it comes with grips and stuff. You can do the grip. Good machine. You put it on your TV. Set it right there. Put this on your TV. This little thing right here. Pretty powerful machine. Put this on your TV. Or put this on, hook this up to your TV. And you hook this up to the controllers. And you can play from your lap on the TV. Or you can play on your lap with this thing. Whoa. Alright, now let's test the time travel. Amazing things that I had on my lap right there. This thing. Small. Nice. Smoke it. This thing. Wow, nice. Marijuana. Find some. Weed is legal in Illinois. Oh my goodness. This thing. Oh my goodness. This thing. Who the fuck's scared now? Okay. Sorry. Excuse my language, but we are going to do a party, so in every language, and all the languages in a party in every language, and many syntax. What else does Douche Mega have on his lap today? Whoa! Whoa, boy, what is this? What is this? Whoa, boy! What is that? Made in China. Made in China? No, but China. Okay. Let's look at the time. Let's look at the time travel. Oh, so I just make it has to calm down, dude. It's because it's time to test the time travel, dude. I'm really nervous. All right. Okay. String. What am I going to use a string for? A gyroscope. A gyroscope. A metal gyroscope. It's blue and gold. Okay. All right. And now. I don't know what this is. And this. A balance. You know how centrifugal, how this works? Okay. Let's see first what this thing is real quick. I'm gonna smoke really quick while I'm honestly opening this. I picked up cigarettes actually. There's a funny story about it. I think I'm just gonna leave this tied. I don't really think I need it. I'm not really sure how this part works. Oh, there's a hole right here. And so you just tie it around this, and I don't imagine that I can use this, but let's look at this real quick. So we'll explain the thing really quick. Is this good for you to know that I understood what I was doing when I started? And it's also good for you to know how long this has been sitting around. This thing right here, what I'm about to show you, if it works, and it might not work. But if it works, if this doesn't work, I think something close will work for time travel. And I think that this thing will lead to the invention of the first actual time machine on Earth. And I'd be always the first inventor of the first time machine on Earth. And I think that this thing will help me. And so let's look at this thing really quick. And this thing would have been sitting around for about whatever the 40, 50, 70 years, dude. 50, 70 years? 50, 70, 80 years? 50, it would have been sitting around for 50, 70, 80, 90 years? I'm not sure because I'm not good at math. But I understand stuff and I know how to know. I know how to figure out stuff, which is a good tool. Yeah. And I'm fine at math. I'm a student. Okay. But I mean, I'm a student in high school. Okay. I was like C student in college. Like C minus or like D plus or C minus in college. But I can explain. I mean, if you want to walk me through something and then you just want me to re-explain it to you like how I understand it, I might even give you a good I might give you something like that you might like, but you might have even expected what I was saying, but you might not expect what I was saying. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Here's centrifugal force. This is easy. So, just to explain this, just to explain this, okay. Uh, the circle, when you spin it, okay, the mass of the circle, what I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna explain the insides of it. I don't even know if I can really. But or what I can explain to you is that when you spin the circle, the mass of the circle is put like pushed outwards towards this side. But when you spin it like this, the forces of the mass create something called centripetal force. Centripetal force. Okay. Okay. If it's time to sell your car, it's time to start it. So basically, what you have here is centripetal force. Okay. You have centripetal force on the wheel. Okay. So when you spin the wheel, the forces of the wheel and the forces of the wheel, the mass of the wheel is pushed outwards and somehow it's like I don't really it's this. It's this right here. The wheel. So the mass is like basically I think if you read the description is like they say like the string of the gravity and the string of the mass, okay, is like tight out is like pulled towards it's like when you're in a car, okay? When your body is in a car, when your body is in a car and your mom turns really sharp, and your mom turns really sharp, okay? Okay? Your body does what? It goes towards the door. That's centripetal force. It seems so crazy. It seems so simple. That's like, oh, that's called something? Yeah, that's called centripetal force. And it's the same thing if you were an ant, if you were an ant sitting inside of this thing, when I spin it, you're going to go where? You're going to go towards the outside. Very good. Okay. You're an ant sitting on this. You see that? You're a little you when you're in a car, your mom does that, blah blah. Okay. Now you're an ant, and you're gonna sit on here, and I'm gonna spin it. You're gonna fly off. Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's a trick. Relativity and all this stuff is something. This stuff that Albert Einstein talked about. Like I said, something like 70, 60, 70, 80 years ago. 60, 70 years ago, something like that. Okay. It's water. So that's the centripetal force. Now, here's the trick. Here's the nice little trick. It's like crazy. It's been sitting around for forever. You don't even know if I'm the first guy to know it or not. I was. Promise. Uh, Here we go. So now what we're saying is that the wheel has gravity, okay? That actually is, again, just like the ant, is swirling around and projecting out, and swirling and projecting out around this metal wheel here. Okay. I figure out how to hold it. Okay. So it's got nice amount of spin there. I'll maybe put some WD-40 on it. I think there's probably some in here. But we'll try without the WD-40. Honestly, more force is more force. So we'll go. But there's resistance to force too. So that's resistance to force. So, but yeah, and that's you can calculate resistance to force, and so resistance to flow as well. So, uh, here you go. So, all right. So, uh, here's the wheel. Okay. Now I'm gonna tie a string on it. So the you understand. So what I just talked about was centripetal force. Okay, so centripetal force. That's the ant flying. That's the little kid in the back of the car, or the ant. Uh, when or the ant on the wheel, when it spins, it flies towards the edge. Okay, now there's gravity on the wheel, in the wheel. The mass, right, equals mc squared. The mass as mass and energy. Okay, as mass and energy, and it can you can and it can do work, right? And that's like another thing you talk about in like physics. I've never taken physics. Okay, I've never taken a physics class. But like mass and energy, mass and all that stuff, dude, you can do work. It can do work. That's an important thing, but like not every single thing like necessarily is like whatever is like work, like in economic work either. But sometimes it might just be like work, like just something. Okay, so I'm gonna tie the string on here nice and kind of long, so I can get more. So I'm going to tie the string on. I'm trying to get a good tie on here, so give me a second here. I'm sorry. Let's try. Okay. All right. Got it. It's a good tie here. Good tie here. Good secure tie here. Okay, might have maybe could have made it a little tighter. Okay, that's good because honestly, because it's not that good of a tie. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's try it like this right here. Right here. Oh. Yes. Yes, a jabroni was able to discover time travel. And yes, a jabroni who definitely ready to make a little bit more money, discovered the time travel. Yeah, wahoo, amazing. I almost didn't know if it was real. I still don't. Okay. All right, let's wind it up. So here's a theory. So here's the other thing, right? So here's what you know. When you put the thing on here, what happens? It balances straight up, right? Yes, that's centripetal force, though. Why? It's like just like a bicycle. It's just like a bicycle. When you spin the wheel balances the whole thing straight perpendicular to it, the basically the ground, because that's the biggest, most nearest force. So the wheel of the bicycle is always going to be perpendicular to the ground. The wheel of this thing is always going to be perpendicular to the ground. Okay. Now here's what I'm suggesting, right? Is that this is still the same principle that I need. Okay. The ground is the biggest nearest mass. Okay? So the wheel is always going to be perpendicular to the ground. But now here's the trick is it that basically is like long story short right now. And I'm not even going to do long story short. I'm even going to explain it. But the reason that the long story short for this, the reason that this balances, okay? The reason that this balances on this thing, and I'll even show you that it does even for a second, that it will, I mean, I can even hold it and it'll go balance perpendicular to the ground. Because it's the ground earth is the biggest nearest mass that has the most is that is applying the most force on this object, and that force is centripetal force. Okay, it is actually centripetal force. Okay, what I'm talking about is centripetal. I believe it is centripetal force. And now there's the other force, centrifugal force, centrifugal force, centrifugal force. Okay, centripetal force is a force that gets the ant to go towards the edge on the wheel. And I believe it is the same force that keeps it perpendicular to the ground. centrifugal force would have been the force. It might even be centrifugal actually that keeps it perpendicular. Honestly, to the ground. I'm sorry. The centrifugal is supposed to be centrifugal. So that's how if you can figure out what it's all doing. Centrifugal, it might be. Centrifugal is supposed to be the representation of uh yeah, centrifugal. If you look up centrifugal, if you've ever known what centrifugal is, or centrifugal force is supposed to be the representation of centripetal force. I think. Let me just look it up really quick. I'm sorry. Okay, centrifugal force. Uh, In Newtonian mechanics, the centrifugal force is an inertial force. Inertia, you know what inertia is? Inertial force that appears to act on all objects when viewing in a rotating frame of reference. It is directed away from the axis, which is parallel to this is centrifugal. Yeah, which is parallel to the axis of rotation and passing through a coordinating system. Okay, blah blah. Yeah, the reason I know that this is gonna work is honestly is because this is like an anti gravity wheel, and I'm not really sure this is honestly anti gravity, but like here we go. So this is basically what we got right now. Yeah, it's like you'll yeah. So okay, centrifugal force is the okay. Here we go. This is what I read. Centrifugal force is the apparent outward force on a mass when it is rotated. It's like it's supposed to be like not the it's supposed to be like a causal force, I think, or like, but it's like a causal force or like yeah, something like that. So that's how I understand centrifugal force. All right, I don't really even know if I honestly understand centrifugal really that well, but like yeah, so I looked up like I basically looked up anti gravity, right? And then if you find anti gravity, there's anti gravity stuff out there already, and there's this thing. Okay, it's like I said, stuff's been sitting around. But if you just didn't know that, like, if you didn't know to like test a certain thing, honestly you were never gonna see it. I guess. So here we go with the centripetal force, centrifugal force. The centrifugal force might it's a all it so basically yeah, the centrifugal it would really make a lot of sense. That honestly, it's just that when it starts spinning, is the centrifugal force is really what even keeps it perpendicular even to the ground. If that's what the centrifugal force is, honestly, how they describe it or whatever, how they actually break the stuff down. I mean, you got to kind of ask smarter people, really. It's like I said, I didn't take physics, but I can like get to learn stuff and stuff here. So here we go. So you look up anti gravity, okay? So the other stuff I was saying is centrifugal. That's like this thing, okay? That one's really easy to understand. Okay. But the centrifugal, I'm not really sure. I've never been taught. I don't think centrifugal. But we'll go ahead and spin this thing up. Okay. So we'll do one test with the. Let's do rip on the thing with this. So I didn't know that this honestly was anti-gravity. I never knew that this was anti-gravity. So basically what you gotta know, dude, is like this is what you actually gotta know. And it's like sucks, but this was the window. So if you're looking for time travel, okay, you're looking for something that if you're looking for time travel, I mean you got you gotta go through relativity. He explains all kinds of time travel stuff too. If you're looking for time travel, you gotta go relativity. Okay. Now, space time, what is it? Is it space time? It's something. Okay. Let's just pretend it's relativity with Mr. Einstein. Okay. Excuse me. A vaporizer is inside. Thing don't even work. Okay. Yeah, it's all bad. Okay, let's do one on here. Yeah. Now, you know that this thing works? Yeah, you know this thing works. I don't have to do it. Okay. Let's do right here, dude, on this. You know that this thing works? It goes perpendicular to the ground. You want to see it? Oh, yeah, for you. I'll just I'll just hold this thing up right here. I let go and it'll work. Right? Because you've seen it. So, yeah. Oh, wow. No, it actually kind of floats. Actually, kind of supposed to go like that. There you go. All right. Okay. That's. I think that is centrifugal force. I think that like gets it to do that. Okay. Either WD-40. Okay. So now we tested that thing. That works. Okay. Okay. Now I'll do one more. Let's show you one more time. I'll just go get a bunch of views on YouTube off of this. Okay. Let me tighten it up like this. Nice. Tighten it up. Yay. There we go. Oh, dang it. Mess it up. Okay. Alright, so now you really want to see the thing. Alright, so do I. So let's see if this works. Oh man, alright, hang on. Right, you gotta retie it. So the understanding is that basically, if you're looking for time travel, if you were looking for time travel, uh, the trick is that you need something that'll give you, uh, you need to figure out how honestly how the whole universe works, pretty much first, right? And then to do that, technically, I'm guessing it's relativity. Yes. So, right. So you need relativity. The relativity will tell you kind of how the universe works. So you want to look up relativity and see how that works. Special relativity, general relativity. Time bends, space bends. These are things that Mr. Einstein found to be true, and the world has not even yet adopted all of these things yet. And I mean, if you even want to get started with all that stuff, dude, you need stuff like honestly, like you need to redo the way that you do. I think a lot of math altogether. I also think that Mr. Einstein believes in a lot of Newtonian stuff. I think in the end. Uh, so there's that in antimatter. Okay, and how they say that antimatter creates zero matter. Antimatter combined with matter creates zero matter. And then if you made that connection everywhere, you'd have zero matter everywhere, I guess. And that's like it says the sentence, you'd have zero matter everywhere. So so if you were looking for time travel, if you're looking for time travel, Okay. If you were looking for time travel, uh, basically, uh, the trick is you need to figure out how the universe works. Now, one of the things that you need to understand is that honestly is that I mean you really just needed Albert Einstein to explain relativity to you and everybody, and he knows that time. He told you that time bends. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. If you yeah, like you need to redo so much stuff because space and time bends. So if you just need to redo stuff, okay. If you're especially if you're talking military, okay, okay. Now, Mr. Einstein, whatever is the rest of this theory is that Mr. Einstein could have made a time machine. Okay, let me explain this. Okay, let me explain this first. So, if you're looking for time travel, you gotta honestly understand that Mr. Einstein was supposed to make a time machine. Mr. Einstein was supposed to himself make a time machine, and I guess to stop World War II. Okay, he figured out relativity and he found all that stuff, and he explained all that stuff. He explains all that stuff, the physics and the math and the physics of it. It's impossible. But like I mean it's impossible, dude. But it's possible, I mean. But there you go. So there you go. But here you go. So here's gravity. All I'm telling you is what I understand, dude, of the stuff that I see in the world. I don't care if you're Albert Einstein or whoever, or honestly, if you're honestly another person or another. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, who you are. Okay. And I mean, especially, I mean, I do not care what people think about you. Okay. I look at what I see and I tell you what I see. Okay. And if he's certified or whatever, honestly, all that stuff back here was not even real. I mean, if you had a job, I mean, everybody you were as good as everybody saw you were. Okay. But if you were told that you can't back here for some reason, that does not mean anything because of who was telling you that you can't. See if finish time. That's not. So, so here we go. So here's the thing. So this is what I understand from relativity, and I'll just cut to the basic stuff that I can understand with this. Okay, space time is what Mr. Einstein found in relativity. Okay, the universe, the edges of it, the cosmos, all that stuff. Not sure where the edges are, all that stuff, but space and time, the things that we have been talking about, like basically, if you want to go make a spaceship and go to Mars or something, is you gotta basically calculate basically where you are in space time. You say they're relative, dude, and he's got all these one to one, perfect one to one ratios. E equals mc squared. You understand the ratios and the square of the light, space time. I don't even know honestly, but this is what I do know. So He says space time. Okay. And he compares it to like a loaf of bread is like what he does say. Okay. Oh, listen. So space time. How do you get what is space time? You only go forward in time, but I can go every direction in space. So what does that mean, right? Well, it means that if you don't see anything that necessarily produces backwards time, is that you can't go backwards in time. But God is above like time itself and stuff. It just but so like maybe there is time travel, right? If you die and go to heaven and whatever is like are you ever going to look back on here is are you ever going to look back on here? What does that look like from heaven?